Thank you. Today we are at Ruwaza Center to talk about climate change, mitigation, and disaster preparedness. And we had a long list of government institutions here. We had a lot of Kenyans online and from diaspora. And we managed to get together about 10 or 11 government agencies concerned on this topic. And the reason why we are talking about climate change is, first of all, in recognition that climate change is not specific to Kenya. Climate change is happening everywhere, and it's a global phenomenon. As we speak right now, there are floods in very many parts of the world. The season for floods will pass. As floods are happening in some parts of the world, including Kenya, there's drought in other parts of the world. So in the cycle of life in this solar system and in this universe, change is guaranteed because the universe is dynamic. So the concern for us as Kenyans is to figure out how to join the dots together, how to put all the pieces together. We have climate change plans. We have a lot of researches and studies and reports which have been done over the last 60, 70 years of our independence. We know exactly what the problems are, but we're having a lot of silo mentality in government and in the private sector and in other places. So what we do at Ruwaza Center is we bring everyone together in the room because we firmly believe that all the answers are inside our heads, and all the answers are inside government, and all the answers are inside the wananchi. If we crowdsource thinking, we can solve any problem in this country. One of the things we've been discussing this morning is the President's 15 billion tree target. 15 billion sounds like a lot, but it's not a lot. What we need is to take that big number and forget about the big number. Individualize action to yourself. Plant your own 2, 3, 5 trees. Between 50 million people, if you multiply 2 trees for everybody in your compound, you'll find that you've reached that number very, very quickly. Another thing we need to realize as Kenyans is that we are really the author of our own problems. Tuongeeni ukweli, okay? Let's speak the truth. The reason why there's flooding in urban centers, one of the major reasons why there's flooding in urban centers is because of our habits. We throw rubbish everywhere. We litter. We throw trash everywhere. We don't care about how we are living. Okay? So when you throw the trash everywhere, it all collects in the drains. The drains go and block. The first rain that comes, you flood, your children can't go to school, and then what do we say? Serikali saidi? Saidia. So let's take responsibility also as individuals, because we are also to blame for a lot of these things. And government is not always to blame for the situations in which we find ourselves. Today, in this meeting here today, we had someone ask, what's the difference between Kayole and Lavington? What's the difference between Kawangware right next to Lavington? What's the difference between Mathare right next to Muthaiga? What's the difference between Kilimani and the whole of Eastlands? The difference is trees, nothing else. So what is preventing everybody living in Eastlands from planting 1 or 2 trees? What is stopping you? What is stopping you? Yeah. Why is Eastlands hot and up here it's cooler? It's because of trees. So why aren't we planting trees? And are you waiting for government to come and force you to plant a tree to make your own environment better? No. So let's be honest here. We're having honest conversations at Ruwaza Center. If government is to blame, we are taking the blame. And we are saying, yes, we haven't done as well as we could. We have noticed that, and we're going to take it up and take it on. But on the other side, as citizens, because remember, right now I'm in government, tomorrow I'll be a citizen. Right now you're a citizen, tomorrow you'll be in government. Okay? So when you're in government and when you're a citizen, all of us have an equal responsibility to improve this country. We had a 19-year-old lady here in the room today, 19 years old. And when I saw her, I realized this is why we are working. We are working to make her life, her husband, one day, hopefully, her children have a better life than our children and we have had. That's the whole point of being in government and being in leadership, to make things better than you found them. So on this issue of climate change, there will be droughts, that's a promise in the future. There will be floods, that's a promise in the future. And these floods will happen until the day you die, and these droughts will happen until the day you die. The difference is what we do. If you go to countries in Europe, for example, where they have a lot of rain all the time, they incorporate their environment into their road design, for example. So that you find in Germany, roads don't flood because they are banked. They are banked, they know there's rain. What do we do here? Do we create drainage? What is our national standard for highways? What's our national standard for pavements? What's our national standard for doing all these things? Yeah? So a lot of these things we complain about are within our hands. They're within our capability to resolve. We can resolve them. And one big thing we want to do at Ruwaza Center is to make sure that we bring everybody who is concerned in dealing with a particular issue in the same room. Let us see whether we are able to solve problems when we all sit together in the same room. And these problems are not hard. There's no problem which is hard. Waswahili husema kuna shida inashinda wanaume wangapi ama wanawake wangapi, wawili ama watatu. So let's solve our problems. So our country, we live in it, it's a beautiful country, let's fix it. And we know exactly what we need to do to fix it. Let's fix this country. It's a good country, let's fix it.